What are the 5 styles of content that are easy to make?
Easy to make?
Yes.
Number one, first and foremost, is selfie FaceTime style content.
Yep.
That is where you grab your phone and you yap to the camera like this.
Yep.
Period. The second style is technically just talking head, like setting up your phone, setting up a camera, talking to the camera. That's talking head. Most people do that where they hold the little microphone or they have a podcast mic like this. The third type that I really like is green screen. Green screening content, articles, other people's videos that you've created, graphics, and talking about them and yapping about them. It does wonders. Another one is reaction videos. Reaction videos are super, super, super simple. You don't need to hire an editor to do them. You can do them yourself in 30 minutes max. And the last one is a mock podcast. This is where you fake as if you have a podcast. You look to the side as if you're talking to somebody. I am actually talking to somebody, but most of the time, most people aren't talking to somebody. Yeah. But I like that one for authority framing. A lot of people on podcasts usually have some sort of authority.
Yeah.
And so if you use the podcast to say one-liners, things that could be the subject line of an email, right? Things that you would say to a mentee or a client, and you do those in a mock podcast style, you'll crush it. But all of these need little to no editing at all. You just need to perfect what you say and how you say it.
What is the biggest thing stopping people from making content right now?
The biggest thing stopping people from making content, hands down, has to be the fact that they think they need to do more than what they actually need to do. I think a lot of people are stuck in the gear cycle or the hamster wheel cycle where they think they need to post 70 times a day like Gary Vee, when in reality you really don't need to, and you don't need a fancy camera like this. 9 times out of 10 you need your phone. Most people just need the skill of actually creating content, and that's the thing that is subconsciously stopping them from picking up the phone or picking up the camera and actually building the brand that they should be building.
So do you think everybody should have a personal brand?
Not everybody, but a lot of people, yes.
Okay. Why?
Having a personal brand, creating content online every day has built so many skills in me. It has made me a better speaker, a better communicator. It has helped me actually articulate my thoughts better, because you need to. In order to take the stuff that's boring and the stuff that you deal with every day and turn it into something that people actually want to watch is a skill. And so in developing that skill set, then yes. But some people just aren't built for the online spotlight. People think that they can post whatever and not receive a bad comment. But we live in a day and age where people feel obligated to give their opinion, whether it's something that they should agree on or disagree on. Like, the comment section is actually brutal nowadays. Some people can't handle that. Some people genuinely don't care enough to create content. I run into business owners every single day who they have a really good business, really good product, really good service. As soon as they get in front of the camera, they don't care enough. And so that energy translates into the videos that they create. And it's like, as a viewer watching that, it makes me think, do you even care what you're talking about? And if you don't care, then why should I care? And so I end up scrolling. And so things like that make me say not everybody should build a personal brand, but a lot of people should. Because in this attention economy, the person who is going to be able to get the attention the longest, the quickest, and honestly just the best overall will win, no matter what kind of business model you have, period. I always tell people, I'm like, yo, you realize, like, do you ever realize scammers usually have the best marketing? And it's because they realize that attention is the real game that they're playing. Meanwhile, you have people who are good at what they do. They feel like the algorithm owes them something, and they don't. It's the matter of, it doesn't matter if you went to school for 4 years, you've been doing it the longest, you are the best, you have the most testimonials. It's really going to come down to who can make the best, the most, and the most consistent content, period.
And if scammers are doing well, how much more so do you need to do well to be able to stand out?
Double.
Yeah.
Because scammers are they understand that the product that they have sucks. They understand that they don't really care to serve the marketplace.
Meanwhile, you, knowing that you have something that's valuable, you're too scared.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so you need to just foot on the gas and just close your eyes and just go.
Yeah.
Most people are just overthinking it, when in reality, you just need to post and post again.
I want to start at this level 1. I think we've lined out these 3 levels, and I think everybody fits into one of these 3 categories. But level 1 is this too scared to start. One of the most demotivating things for someone that says, I want to start making content, is that they make the content and then they just get stuck at 200 views.
Yeah.
What can you tell people that before they start, or if they've already started, can get them out of that 200 view jail?
If you're starting out, the views don't matter. I think you should be in a place, in a space in your mind, your mentality, whatever you want to call it, where you should want to become Thor, which for my Marvel fans out there, it's Thor can wield the hammer because he's worthy of it. Most people aren't worthy of getting the attention that they want. They need to become worthy by actually figuring out what people want to watch, or being able to say things in a way that makes somebody actually want to interact with your video. Just because you're giving out the cure to cancer doesn't mean that people are going to want it the way that you want to give it. And so you need to be able to give it in a way that they want to receive it.
Why shouldn't people go viral?
99% of the time that you do go viral, you have to go viral for something that's outside of what you and your brand stands for. You have to become a little bit of Mr. Beast, or you have to talk about a certain topic that you don't really want to talk about on a day-to-day basis. And so when you build your brand off of going viral, most of the time you build something that doesn't really have a solid foundation. Most business owners only want to be known for doing the thing that they do. They don't want to be known for this creative thing over here. They don't want to be known for being an entertainer. They want to be known for giving the value that they desire to give in their niche. Mm-hmm. And so it is going to be very hard for you to stick to that if you are trying to go viral all the time just for the sake of going viral, because you end up doing the complete opposite of what you desire to do.
Does going viral make you money?
Going viral, most of the time will not make you money. For example, I had 3 videos that were over 1 million views. All of them over 1 million views. I'm talking crazy engagement. And I had like negative $50 in my business bank account. And it's not because I was quote unquote bad at business or bad at what I did. It's because I didn't have the proper lead flow that I needed to have from my social media. And it's mainly because I was focused on going viral and not focused on going valuable.
Going valuable. How does someone go valuable in content?
Someone goes valuable by actually problem solving. I am a big component of, if you are a business owner who wants to build a personal brand, not only do you have to have personal aspects in it, but you need to have a identity shift. And that identity shift needs to be problem solver, which means that the whole purpose of you creating content is not to grow a following. It is to solve the problems of the people that already want to buy what you have to sell.
When it comes to like, you've made those 30 videos, and if you only get 200 views every single time, you're not motivated.
In my experience of people coming to me and they're stuck in the 200, 300, even 500 view jail, usually there are 2 main things that we can do to break it out. The first one I'm biased to this one. I'm very much so biased, and I don't care. Search-based topics, stuff that people are actively searching for every single day. Obviously, if it's within your niche, create content around that. Whatever the how-to, whatever the whys, the whats that people are actively searching on that platform, highly recommend you just make content on those topics. Usually, it's the fact of when it comes to certain topics, people are just talking about stuff that's so out of touch of people in their industry that they don't care. So even if the video is good, even if what you're saying is good, a lot of times people just don't care.
As you search for the topics, where do you go? Are you just searching ChatGPT? Like, where are you going to see what things are relevant for the people you're trying to talk to?
Most of the time, I go per platform and I go Google. I rarely go to ChatGPT for that because a lot of times ChatGPT is trained on certain stuff. I mean, every platform is trained on certain algorithms, but ChatGPT is more like, hey, let me give you the answer that I think you want to know. Yeah. Rather than if I go to YouTube, if I go to TikTok, if I go to Instagram and I search up a keyword within my industry, I get to clearly see what topics people are actively searching for and actively engaging with. And people think that, okay, now I have to make the video like these top videos. Sometimes that doesn't work. And then you'll get into another cycle of, well, why am I creating stuff that works for them, but it doesn't work for me? So it's, how can you put your own personal spin on the topics that people actively want to watch in your industry, right? Whether you just bring it from your experience, your own principles, your own beliefs, your own stories, your own lessons that you've learned, but just talking about the same topics that are already going, quote unquote, viral. The second thing I absolutely love is sometimes, and I think that this is majority of the time, probably 60, 70% for a lot of people that come to me. Most of the time, it's not the idea, it's just the execution of the idea. Like most of the time the video is it just looks bad, or the way that the video was executed was just not it. And so switching up the style or the format of it helps a lot. Whether it's like, okay, instead of doing talking head, then let's put you in front of a whiteboard. Or rather than doing a selfie style, which usually kind of works for a majority of people, but instead of doing something like that, I know you don't like me saying green screens, but do a freaking green screen, right? Do a split screen.
I don't like green screens because you can't teach old people how to use green screens. It's tough.
I think the average person trying to build a personal brand, or the average business owner trying to build a personal brand or creator, I think they can do a solid green screen. I think a lot of people don't understand environmental awareness also. Like, there are people out there who make videos about diet, but they'll make it in their car. And it's like, no, make this in the kitchen where the environment obviously is directly along with the
if you're talking about diet, so it's such a great point. Like, go into the grocery store.
Yes.
That's a great point. So if you're saying like, hey, these are the things that are really important, think about how you can steal from other people. That's basically what you're saying. Do you encourage people just like copy other people's content?
No, not even close. And it's the same reason why I don't recommend people script out their content word for word. And it's the reason why I don't script out word for my clients, because no matter if the words are the same for everybody will get different views, because the way that she said this specific line is different from the way that you said it. This person knows how to enunciate certain words. This person knows how to communicate more clear. This person talks extremely fast. This person is more attractive than this person.
Yeah.
I recommend that 9 times out of 10, you shouldn't copy what's working for other people in terms of like, let's just rip this video.
But you just said, like, if you're looking at it, look up the keywords, look up the things that people are engaging with in that niche. And if you want to look at it, maybe see what else you can add a different, add a whiteboard, add a different stuff. That to me sounds like find what's already working and just redo it.
Which brings me to a lot of times people, when they want to find things that are working and replicate what's working, they look at the wrong thing. It's not that this person's script is better. Look at the principles that are reoccurring between all of these different things. For example, when people are like, hey, copy this video bar for bar, word for word in the exact same way, it's like, no, that's the wrong thing. Why not? Let's look at these trends, all these videos that are going viral. What are the similarities? Cool. This person has a title hook, aka a headline or a text on top of the screen. Good. You don't. Or this person actually has something polarizing or bold to say in the hook. Or this person just sticks to one specific style, and that one style goes viral or performs well every single time. It's the common principles that people should steal. It's not really the individual videos. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, so let's say someone's just starting out, and let's say they take your advice and they say, okay, I'm going to look up the pain points, the problems within each of these issues. And actually, as a tangent, like I do think there's one hack. If you go to ChatGPT, you should say, give me 50 of the most severe pain points of the people within my industry. Make sure that they are very relevant. Make sure that there's data backing it, whether it's from Reddit or from Quora or from some other reputable source, and provide me a succinct list of the biggest things that these people have issues with. And then what you do is you look through that whole list. And if you do 50, I guarantee you 40 plus of them are going to suck. They're not going to be good. These 45 stink, but these 5, I see what to do. And it might not be that I use the exact same wording, but I will add like, okay, if I do this in my tone and my words, I would say it this way. I would ask the hook, this is how I can condense it. This is how I can make it more abrasive. This is how I can make it kinder. This is the reverse element of it. It's so much easier to create from that standpoint because you're still making it relevant based on pain point data, but you're still adding your own level of influence and you're actually leveraging AI.
I think that works extremely well. I think something that'll work as good, if not maybe better. All of the top people in your industry, most of the time they're not replying to every comment. Maybe they'll reply to like the comments within the first 10 minutes or so. Why not go to their top performing videos, look at the comments that have questions, comments, or concerns? Because if they're in your industry, most of the time, these questions, comments, or concerns, you're probably going to know the answer to. Why not take those as your video ideas? And then since it performed well for the person that's topping your industry, we can now take that style or format and execute it based off of the question, comment, or concern that's already in their stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's really good. Okay, so at this first level, and let's, again, establish this person is someone that is just getting started. Say that someone's watching your content right now and they're saying, okay, I'm going to start taking my personal brand seriously. I'm going to make my first post. What are the things that they need to consider before they make that post?
My checklist is this. I come up with the text hook, the title hook first.
What is a text hook?
The text hook, aka the headline, aka the titles that appear on your video, whether it's above your head or at your chest level, that's like the big, bold words that people read and try to figure out whether or not they want to watch the rest of this video or not. And for long form, it's like the YouTube title.
Yep.
So it's basically the YouTube title, but for Instagram and TikTok.
Yep.
Cool. I established that first. My favorite kind of principles around that is I try to use 6 words or less. I try to make it as curious as possible without giving them too much and without withholding too much. So based off of them reading it, they should clearly understand that this video is going to be around this topic, but now I want to know about that topic.
Yep.
Right. So for example, one that does extremely well for me is 60 video ideas in 30 seconds. So now you know clearly I'm going to get 60 videos in 30 seconds, but what the hell are these 60 videos? And so it leaves a form of curiosity. Some people, they keep their headline, their text hook, their title hook extremely too long. The words are extremely small. You can barely read it. You don't give them enough time and nobody cares about it. That's kind of my first thing. My second thing are, what are the first 3 sentences that are going to come out of my mouth? So most people watching this, they should be creating some sort of videos where they're speaking. Please cut out the 30-second B-roll and it's 1,000 words. Nobody cares about that, right? We live in a world where people want to connect with you person to person. And so one of the best ways to do that is show your face and or speak, if not both. And so the first 3 sentences that come out of my mouth, which most people just call the hook, right? What is your hook? Which simply means how am I going to grab your attention? Am I going to say something that is very relevant to you? Am I going to say something that makes you think I'm an a-hole? Am I going to say something that just evokes an emotion out of you? Or am I going to start off with some sort of story that you want to know the rest of? If my video is informational, how am I going to execute on this information? Am I going to show it in some steps? Am I just going to create a list? That's kind of the third thing that I love to do. The fourth thing that I love to do is some sort of story. So I don't care if you are a good storyteller or not. You need to be telling stories, whether big or small, within your content. Whether it's a backstory, whether it's the reason why you're creating this video, whether it's how you came up with this concept in the first place, or an example. Examples are stories, right? If I tell you, hey, I'm going to teach you how to come up with 30 video ideas in 10 seconds. Well, the example of some ideas are going to be, it's a part of story. It's storytelling, right? Taking somebody from where they are to maybe the future and then the past and then bringing them back to the present. All of that stuff is storytelling. Then this is where a lot of people overlook, I think, is more of a shareability factor. How can I get people to not only implement, but also share to somebody who is in the same boat as them or just my target audience as a whole? And so something that I love to do is I give very clear call to actions, not the regular comment down below, X, Y, Z for my nice little 50-page PDF. No, not that. It's something as simple as, if you don't implement this, I pray for you. Like, listening to that is going to make you want to at least take action on it, which is extremely good because usually if somebody takes action on your stuff and it works, next time they see you, they have a good feeling in their heart because it worked last time they saw you. And so how am I going to clearly state, please do this, or please execute on this, or please listen to this, or get something from this, whether it's changing their mindset, their beliefs, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Then the last thing is just the 24-hour rule for me.
What is the 24-hour rule?
The 24-hour rule is after watching your video, right? So after watching my video, you as the viewer within 24 hours can implement or understand something better than before you watched my video. That's why cooking videos do so well, because people copy those recipes within 24 hours. It's a 24-hour rule, right? And in this game of social media where everybody's posting so much, if you can give them something to do and within a day, they actually implement it and they know it's from you. That's why videos with so many saves work so well, because people are going back to implement stuff.
Yeah. If you're clicking on a video that's talking about making content, everyone's going to mention the hook. But I think people don't understand the value of the different types of hooks.
Yep, period. Like what you say and how you say it matters much more than am I coming into frame with it. It matters on such a smaller scale when you're at this level that we're speaking about.
Yeah.
Like that's the stuff that doesn't really matter.
Well, and also I want to note, like, nothing that you said had anything to do with editing.
No.
Do I need a nice camera if I want to get views online?
Not even close. I have clients of mine who have built their entire brand using a phone. And truthfully, the only reason I use a camera is because I came from the photography and videography world. If you don't come from that world, you don't need a camera. You only need your phone. And I'll even give you this. When you buy a camera and you don't come from the photography and videography world where you're just obsessed with high quality stuff, buying a camera actually hurts the production of your content. Because when you buy a camera, now you try to put yourself in the mindset of everything has to be perfect. Because the whole reason you're buying the camera is because you want your content to be perfect. But when you pull out your phone and you go selfie style, or you just prop your phone up using your microphone with a stand, it allows you to actually put out the content that people want to see from you, not the perfect side that you're trying to show people. Ugly videos will make you more money than pretty videos.
Break it down. Why?
Because most of the time when you're trying to make pretty videos, you're ignoring all the principles of why people watch in the first place. And so when you obsess over pretty videos, most of the time you're obsessing over the edit and then the quality and the angle, and nobody cares about any of that. Some of the ugliest videos on the planet not only have performed the best, but have made me the most money.
How nice your edit was, how nice your camera was. Like you could have this. This is not important
At all.
You don't need this.
I've downscaled my editing team. So the beginning of 2024, I had like 15 editors on my team. All of them were doing super hyper animation. We was lit.
Yeah.
And it was taking too long to create one video for me and clients. And expensive.
Yeah.
To less than half of those editors with more work.
Yeah.
Because it's more so about, okay, we should be worried about Frankenstein and content and creating better cuts rather than the animations on it.
Yeah.
Like, let's take this middle part, put this at the beginning so the video sounds much better.
Well, this is important. Like, if you are watching this and you're thinking to yourself, I can't put out a video until I know I have a good edit. And you're I'm looking for a good editor, or I'm waiting until this ring light comes in, or I'm waiting until like this camera setup, or my microphone's going to be so much better when this sound is. I would say everything you mentioned, you can do with a cell phone.
100%.
Your hook, your text banner, native. You can edit it within the TikTok or Instagram app.
Those ones perform the best.
Yes. The one thing you didn't mention that I would push you, I think you'd agree with this. I think that that pacing is really important.
Yeah.
If you can't communicate your thought in under 60 seconds, it's going to be difficult for you to maintain the attention. In fact, I encourage people to kind of limit themselves to 35-second videos.
There's a sprint, and I'm not the first person to come up with this, but I probably use it more than the person who came up with this. And it's the 5x5.
What's the 5x5?
The 5x5 rule is we take 5 content ideas and we execute them in 5 minutes. So you have 1 minute per idea to execute your thought properly and just communicate to your audience. We're not going to worry about how pretty it looks. We're not going to worry about how pretty you look, right? It's about, okay, I have 60 seconds to talk about this one topic, and after the 60 seconds, I'm just going to post it and I'm going to ignore it, and whatever happens, happens. Most people get stuck in this trap of spending an hour on one video because they're trying to make sure that everything is perfect. And next thing you know, they have 10 clips that are 5 minutes long for one topic.
Yes.
Nobody cares about any of that. Cool. Let's get their attention in the beginning. Let's actually fulfill on what we basically promised them in the hook, which is just give them the information, give them the insights, whatever it is, change their mindset, and leave them with something.
Yep.
A lot of people kind of just cut the videos off at the end. No, let's leave them with something, whether it's a recap, whether it's us telling them to go execute on this, or whether, you're one of those people who are just like, comment down below.
Yeah. Well, and everything you just said, all the things to consider, that checklist, I would say if people just paused this video and did that, and then came back 2 weeks later, they posted, let's say you posted 20 videos in 14 days, which is very doable, doing exactly what we just said. We're going to put a banner.
They'd be out of 200, 300 view jail.
Yeah.
They'd be out.
You'd be out.
Bail.
I love how you categorize that. Let's shift to level 2. Level 2 is you've been making content. You've tried. Maybe you've gotten all the way to like 5,000 followers.
Nice.
Maybe all the way to 10,000 followers, and we're feeling like a baller, right? But you feel like you don't know how to actually grow, and you don't know how to actually monetize your content. If that was you, like, what are the pain points that person's experiencing?
I would say the first one is every time they post, they have to start over. Meaning, in that range, I feel like I'm trying to reach a whole new group of people, right? Like the people that like this video, the people that follow me from this video, they aren't coming back for the rest of my content. It's also the fact of, hey, I'm not looking how I feel in my space. A lot of people feel like they're the best in their space, or at least one of the best, or everybody in their city in person knows them. They're like, hey, what's up? You know, every time they see people in real life, but that doesn't translate over to social media at all. Mm-hmm. And so one of the biggest things for that group of people is, one, let's myth bust. I'm such a big fan of myth busting.
You want to myth bust the problems of the...
Yes, yeah, okay. I want to, because it's every industry. It's no longer some. Every industry, there's some guru out there who's spreading so much misinformation is actually insane. And they have the most views.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, well, let's take that person's videos and let's react to them or duet them or stitch them, whatever you want to call it. And let's now give the audience the real sauce. That not only makes people want to follow you, but that builds more trust, because now it's like, oh, snap, this is a whole new perspective that I thought this was real. But now this is the truth. Cool.
I think this is the widest range, right? So like the people in level 1 that are overthinking content, that don't know how to get started, and that know how to talk about some things.
Yep. This
second group, now we've hit that point of like, I don't know how to come up with content ideas. I'm burnt out.
I'll tell you my infinite way of creating content ideas. This is my favorite way, and I recommend this to everybody because I do it. I did it yesterday, actually. I don't have a specific name for it, but I'll call it the chart method, which is where I go to Google Docs or Excel, wherever you can come up with a chart. You can do this in your notes app on your phone. And I kind of create 3 columns, like a 3-column table. The first column is usually something around traits, right? What mental, physical, emotional traits does your audience currently have that's stopping them from achieving the thing they desire to achieve? And I list out as many as I possibly can. The next thing I like to call paper cuts, right? You ever get a paper cut? It's like a small little sword, but it just burns like hell. Mm-hmm. So it's, what are the paper cut problems that your audience is going through? Like the small problems that is really stopping them from doing bigger things. And then last but not least is just simply desires. Like, what do they want to do? Not the big desires of, hey, I want to buy my mom a house. No, I want to put my bills on auto pay, right? The smaller ones that aren't as impactful, but they really are more impactful than the bigger desires. Each category I try to list out as many as I possibly can. And once you do, you look at it and you say, wait, this is content. Like, I can make videos on this stuff every day, all day. And what you notice is most experts in this second level, this is the stuff that they already deal with. Mm-hmm. This should be content, period. Like, I do that every single month, and I just revisit it every month. And every single time it gives me my new set of content ideas, every time.
How do you turn that into content? Because, sweet, I might know that this person has this pain.
Yep.
How do I shift that pain into something that actually can work and get me more views than I'm currently getting?
It's about, and I said this earlier, the execution of it. So, for example, give me an industry.
Let's go real estate.
Real estate.
Real estate agents make a ton of content and it always sucks.
Cool. Yeah, because most of them are just professional picture takers.
Yeah.
They don't realize that they're not talking about the stuff that their audience actually cares about. So most of the time, if a real estate agent goes with the chart method, right, in the desires category, they'll realize, oh, snap, my clients don't really care too much about appliances. They just want to live in a good area. So why don't we create a series that is now tailored towards the area that I sell in? So now we could talk about the local coffee shops, right? Because most of the time, a lot of people work from home and they're tired of working in the home. Let's talk about the local coffee shops. Let's talk about, right, if a lot of the times we're selling to dads and sons. Cool. Let's talk about what sports teams are nearby. Cool. This baseball field, this soccer field is nearby. This rec center, right? Cool. Let's talk to the soccer moms. Pilates, right?
Yeah.
Cool. There's this Pilates center next there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, it's now about like what is actually within this idea. I think people just don't go deep enough and think. They just, I want to create content. I want to come up with content ideas, but just think. Like, Cool. With real estate, let's do another one, right? A paper cut problem. I think people don't realize to get a really good house or a really good apartment, you need credit. Well, why don't we create a video that talks about the different levels of credit and the different types of homes you can get with different levels of credit?
That's so good. That's so good.
Like, just think about it and just analyze. Snap.
And if you want to, like, think about it, like, there's abrasive versions of that.
Yes.
There's like, if you're abrasive, you can be like, you can't afford this house because you only have 200 credit. How do we shift from, because we were just talking about, don't put too much energy or time or thought process behind an idea, just execute. That takes time. Those videos take thought. What's the shift that needs to be made there?
I think the shift is realizing that once you have that, it's no longer about coming up with new content ideas. So I run into people and I literally have to ask them this question. I'm like, this outfit that you have on, are you going to wear it once? They're like, no, this is my 5th time wearing it. Exactly. Same thing with video ideas. You can go to my page and see over this past month, I'm talking about the same 3 to 4 to 5 topics over and over and over again, just in different ways. This one is a little bit more bold. This one is a little bit more friendly. This one is a little bit more tutorial based. It's going to come down to, okay, peace of mind now that I have basically an infinite amount of content ideas.
I mean, really, did you just lay out how to make 90 content ideas in 30 minutes?
Yep. You have those 3 charts, right? So you take these charts, the paper cuts, you take the traits, and you take these small desires that your audience wants. Cool. Let's say you do 10, right? You write down 10, or you have AI come up with 10 in each category. Well, that's 30. Well, imagine if you just execute on each of them 3 times. That's a 90 pieces of content idea. You just took, in a very short amount of time span, you just created a quarter's worth of content. And so it becomes, okay, well, now, if we're going to execute it in 3 different ways, let's just find 3 different formats and styles that we're going to stick with.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick with selfie style. I'm going to stick with reaction style. And I'm going to stick with regular talking head style.
Yeah.
Good. Just go ham now.
Yeah.
Only like, cool. Now it's a plug and play. Cool. Well, I'm on this idea. Let's do it as a talking head. Good. Post it. Next idea. Let's do this one as this. And then next month, you just reverse it. Cool. I did this one as a talking head last time. Let me do it as a selfie style or a green screen or a reaction video.
And again, nothing he has said mentions video editing.
Not a single thing.
There wasn't a font. There's no hashtags.
No.
There was no trending music, audio. There's no 6-second reels. Every single thing he said was just good idea, good concept. How do you come up with a good concept that could work? Now, every single video, if you have 10,000 followers, should get 1,500 views. Good videos will get 3,000 to 5,000. Great videos will get 10,000. Amazing videos, your outliers, your great, awesome videos will get 10,000 plus. And those are the ones to double down on. So in that world, how do you get those videos from the 15% and make sure that I use these content ideas and it's just not more filler stuff, but it's actually stuff that's going to get more reach?
Playing to the strengths of metrics. And what I mean by that is, this is the only time I recommend actually paying attention to vanity metrics. Because we look at things like likes, shares, comments, saves, as in, oh, I just got this many likes. If we want to outlier video, let's actually break down what those are, right? Cool. Saves. If I want a lot of saves in my video, usually that's something very tangible, something that people want to save and actually come back to. These are usually going to be your tutorials, your how-to videos. All of my tutorials have a crap ton of saves. Why? Because people save them with the intention to go back and watch them and actually implement what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But then we have things like comments and shares. Cool. Well, usually comments is because you started some sort of conversation in your video. Well, let's ask questions. We could easily say, how much do you weigh? People in the comments will tell you how much they weigh.
Yeah.
Like, we live in that type of world.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, then we have shares. Shares are usually something relatable. I share stuff to my lady all the time. I share stuff to my friends all the time. It's because it's very relatable to what we have said in the past. It's very relatable to our circle, to jokes we've made. Cool. Well, let's say something or make something that is shareable. Or we could simply give them the call to action to share it to a specific person. And then we have likes. Likes is just all around everything. Like, you have a good video, your hook is good, the video topic itself is good, people are usually going to like the video if it's just a solid video.
I see likes going way down.
Oh, for sure.
Well, likes are the most meaningless metric, and it's also like, I think people throw it at stuff that they don't even think about or care about, and because you don't go back and look at what have I liked recently. I think
you go back, you look at saves.
You might look at favorites or saves. I'm going to say this because I want your feedback on it. I think shares is the most important
100%.
metric, because every single algorithm, YouTube included, cares about watch time.
Yes.
And so if people are watching your video more, then it's going to benefit your video, and it's going to algorithmically say, okay, sweet, more people are watching this, sweet. They're watching for a longer period of time. So getting your average view duration to go up is massive. And the best way to do that is when someone shares your video to someone else, it's not someone scrolling through their For You page saying, oh, do I want to watch this? But if someone shares it and sends it to somebody else, the odds of you watching that video dramatically increases, because my wife sent me something. Of course, I'm going to watch all this because we're trying to relate on this.
Right, and I trust the person.
I trust the person. Like, they usually send me funny things. They usually send me informative things. You have this whole context of, this isn't just something I'm seeing online. This is something that's being seen from this person.
Yes.
That way, that video view duration goes up because I'm trusting it from the verified source.
If I had to rank them on terms of most important, least important, I'm going shares, comments, saves, likes. Like, in that order, shares are 100% the most important for the exact reasons you said. Comments start the conversation of everything. Most of the time, not only because human beings are just nosy, like, I'm extremely nosy. I will watch a video and go to the comment section just to see what people said about the video. I might not even
watch the video. I might just go straight to the comment section.
I'm 3 seconds into the video. I'm already in the comment section. Just seeing.
I don't look at captions. The written caption underneath in the description, I don't read those.
I only think that's important nowadays for helping the AI of the algorithms figure out what your video is about.
Like an SEO.
Just simply SEO, which stands for search engine optimizer, or optimize, or optimization, whatever you want to call it.
Let's bring it back down to earth for the person that's saying, okay, now we know we have these content ideas. How do we make content that drives that level of engagement? So we now have our 90 content ideas based on what you described, that chart method. What needs to happen to get our views from that 1,500 views on average to actually getting legitimate traction?
I think your biggest compounding effect is going to be a series. So going back to your chart method, right? Each column should have its own designated series to it. Whether it's a tactical series, whether it's a day-to-day series, day 1, day 2, day 3, right? Whether it's a part-based series, part 1 of this, part 2 of this, part 3 of this. Each one should have a series because people can binge watch series. People will interact with series. There are series that I've created for clients that the last couple pieces of that series has more engagement than the first couple pieces. And it's because it's a compounding thing, right? Cool. The first part, it gets 1,500 views. The second part gets 2,000 views. The third part gets 3,000, then 5,000, then 10,000. Next thing you know, you're 20 parts into a 100,000 viewed series.
Yeah.
And it's because people like the Netflix effect, and people like predictability.
Yeah.
If every time you post, it's something different and they can't automatically recognize that it's you, the person that's trying to give them value, it'll hurt you. But if you create content in a way, whether it's, now we can get into something editing, right? Whether it's your editing style is the same every time, which doesn't really matter, but let's say you use the same caption, the same type of text hook or title box, or whether it's a specific series title, like, people blow up off of series. I think a big one for business owners, right? And honestly, people who just have some sort of value is, you called it, incentivizing. I think a lot of people don't understand that incentivizing can just simply be the journey. Am I able to, throughout my series, help my audience on a journey from X to Y, and then eventually to Z?
Yeah.
We can do that from a tangible standpoint, right? Of, that's how people get how-to series, right? Day 1 of how to grow your followers. Day 1 of cooking a meal every single day for my husband.
Yeah.
I just seen a series like that last night, actually, before I went to bed. And so it's like, why am I incentivized to watching this? Well, a lot of women who also want to cook for their husbands will watch that and be incentivized to watch every part of the series, because now they have new meal ideas for their husband.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, if I'm teaching you how to get more followers, well, by the end of this series, hopefully you know how to get more followers.
Yep.
A weight loss challenge, right? Almost thinking of it as challenges too.
If you could formulate a video right now that gets 100,000 views, what would you do?
If I wanted to formulate a video that for sure gets 100,000 views, I actually recently just did this. One, I would make sure that it is how-to tutorial based, because my opinions are too light. For example, if you are a polarizing person, I would tell you to create an opinion-based or belief or principle-based video because you're polarizing. So that's going to for sure get views. It's why people like Alex Hormozy is able to say certain things, because it's like, yo, nobody wants to work 12 hours a day. He's like, yo, if you don't work 12 hours, like you're an idiot. If you're at this age and you don't work 12 hours a day. My opinions aren't that strong. I have strong conviction in what I have to say, but my opinions aren't that strong. What I am really good at is tactical and tangible stuff.
Okay.
So I thrive in how-tos. I'm able to take really big concepts or things that most people make complicated, and I'm able to turn it into something that most people can do or act on.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go how-to. That's number one. Number two, I'm going to make sure that my video has a, as you call, banner or title hook. I'm going to make sure that that banner or title hook is what I call it. 6 words or less, brings an immense amount of curiosity, and has at least one power word. A power word is some sort of word that creates conviction within you or strikes some sort of emotion, right? Whether for a lot of people who talks about money, a power word could be poor. Like somebody reads the word poor and they feel some type of way, or broke. And so I'm going how-to tutorial. I'm going title hook. I'm making sure that the video is about 60 seconds. For me and my account, 60 seconds is like the perfect to hit every single time. Every high-performing video I create is about 60 seconds. And then last but not least, I'm making sure that it has the 24-hour rule, meaning within 24 hours of watching my piece of content, my audience can either implement, change something, or look at something different from before they watch my video. So being a how-to video, they should be able to actually implement the thing that I'm talking about within 24 hours. And really it should be within like a couple minutes. They should be able to implement what you're talking about. Because if they do and it works, they're either going to come back to your video and comment on it, which boosts your engagement. Yo, I tried this and it works. That's going to boost engagement even more than it regularly would, because people are nosy. So before your video even ends, people are in the comment section seeing what other people have to say about it, whether or not it's true or false. And if there's a comment of somebody saying, yo, I tried this and it works, they're going to try it. And they're going to go back to that comment and say, yes, you're right. And now you just started a whole thread in your comment section. That's going to boost your engagement. So really the video is going to start out getting about 10,000 views. And then it's going to compound to 25. Then it's going to compound to 50. And then from that 50, the next day after that is going to hit 100.
You can become the hero of the story in every single video. Will I get to this? All right, so that's going to get us to level 3. How do you make content consistently that actually gets you followers and grows your community?
Everything that you post should no longer be based off of what other people are posting. And I say I have this thing called the internal database. I need to come up with a better name for it. But right now it's called the internal database, which is like kind of 4 to 5 different unique categories where every single time I post a piece of content, it should come from one of these 4 to 5 places, which is lessons. So what lessons have I learned from failures in the past of doing the thing that I do? Principles. What set of principles do I have? Beliefs. I think beliefs will end up trumping all. It's why religion is so popular on social media, because it's a set of beliefs that you have. People connect with beliefs, right? So lessons, principles, beliefs, tactics. What tangible things can you give this marketplace? And then just simple experience. Is this where is this coming from? Is this coming from your 5 years of experience? If so, just say that. And that could be it. Like that could be the only thing you think about in this. Cool, I've been doing this thing for 5 years. Well, shit, I'm going to listen because you've been doing it for 5 years, especially if it's something that I desire to learn about. Yeah. And so it's like making sure that every piece of content you post comes from at least one of those 5 places, I think will continue to grow you, but also make people see you as the person that you desire to be seen as.
Now we're talking about like content systems. How do we get something to a point where we can make content every single day at scale or consistently at scale that's always going to be proven to drive the amount of engagement and the type of engagement we want?
I call it the new floor. Like, stop restarting. people will have something work and then restart the next video.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, if you post it 100 times, these top 5 that are positive, right?
Yeah.
All the principles, concepts, formats, styles, whatever you want to call it, from those videos should be your new floor.
Yes.
So instead of restarting back from scratch with everything else that you've just tested over the last 100 videos,
Yes.
no, these 5 should be your new floor. And then you do things like, okay, this title hook, okay, this one is positive, this one is more negative. So let me try from now on my new floor. All my title hooks should be negative.
Yes.
Cool. This one is hope core, meme core.
Yes.
Well, meme core is kind of working. So let me now, and it's like the DJ booth where it's like he just consistently pushes the volume up.
Yes. And the thing about like from an effort from me perspective, like I put effort into making the initial video. And I might have given feedback on this is probably what the title hook should be.
Yep.
Then beyond that, I didn't put effort in. Other things that you can do, like this is like sauce, but like say you have a video that works and you're like, I just wish I could repost this video. If a video that is 50 seconds does really, really well and gets a lot of views, then increase the video speed on a different software platform to 1.1, 1.15, and 1.2. Those are 3 different video files and audio files that you can upload. Instagram will see those as separate uploads. And I would add different text banners to each one. I do think it's important what you talk about, how you talk, pacing, all these things are important. But like if a video works, it's long at 50 seconds, it'll work better at 44.
Yeah. It's why a lot of times, and I actually learned this from a copywriting buddy of mine. He was like, yo, we spend more time on the subject line of emails we send out more than the actual email itself.
Yeah.
Every person who is a master at YouTube tells me, yo, we spend most of our time on the title and the thumbnail.
Yep.
And so it's like, well, when we create short form, why do we just ignore the principle that's across all of marketing? The banner, the title hook, the headline, whatever you want to call it from
That's
wherever
so true.
you are.
Yeah.
Like that should be a lot of your focus.
What answer do you have to someone that says, I've grown a page and I've gotten a lot of views with content I don't really like or I don't really care about, and I want to represent something different? What would you say to that person? What would you have them do?
Hard pivot. Some people are like, okay, post a little bit more of this. And me personally, I'm a big fan of hard pivoting because it's like, well, social media it's not a game of, oh, snap, now you got 100,000 followers here. You're basically going to have to restart. It's like, no, the Gary Vee thing of, what does he call it? Interest media. I fully believe in that. Cause like, yo, if I go to my social media right now and I type in tennis and I like 3 tennis posts in a row that pop up and I close out of Instagram or TikTok and I go back in, I'm going to see more tennis posts. I don't follow a single person in tennis.
Yeah.
It's based off of what I've interacted with in the past.
Yeah.
My follower count doesn't matter. And so if you've grown your followers based off of something that you don't want to identify anymore, it's going to be a little trouble, trying to get your name out of that industry. But just start posting about the new industry you want to associate with, because now the people who are interested in that industry are now going to see your content versus the people who saw your past content. And you having more followers is probably going to encourage them to follow you more because as human beings, it's very hard for me to like a post with 1 like versus a post who already has 100,000
Oh my
likes.
goodness. Let's talk about this too, because I think, how many followers do you average per month?
Not a lot.
Does it net out?
Okay, this past month, maybe like, truthfully, not many, maybe like an extra 5,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on that, I would say a good portion of despite the fact that like, doesn't matter what content you post, if someone clicks on your profile, the validity of seeing the amount of followers you have is everything.
Helps.
I think you feel that at over 10K. I think you feel that a lot more over 50K. I think you feel a lot more over 100K. And I think after like 200K, 250K,
it's
the difference between 250K and 500K isn't that much.
But a million it's like those are really it's like 10K, 50, 100, 200 to 250, and then a million.
Yeah.
Like those are the barriers where when I hit 10,000 followers, it was very it's almost the same principle where super rich people always love to say this stuff. It's easier to make $1 million in a month than it is to make $1 million. But it's the same kind of with follower count, where it's like when you hit 10,000 followers, it's going to be much easier for you to get to 20 and then 30. From 35 to 50 is maybe a little bit troubling. But then once you hit 50, it's going to be very easy for you to get to 100.
If you wanted to get 1 million followers right now, what would you do?
Oh, if I wanted to get 1 million followers and I don't care about anything else.
Yeah, that was your only goal.
My only goal, I am taking principles from Mr. Beast. You may not like this, but I'm doing a crap ton of reaction videos.
Yeah.
Reaction, I've done a lot of data. I think reaction videos are top 2 types of styles of content that gets me the most followers.
Interesting. Why do you think that is?
Because I give my opinion on the video. And I think, so I frame the video as, here's this thing. This person that you already know, like, and trust is demonstrating a principle that I love to share and talk about all the time.
Yeah.
Here's the person of the principle. Good. They're going to watch because it's already somebody that they already know, like, and trust. Well, then I give my 2 cents on it. So it's like all in one video. I've been able to give context, hook them in, show them somebody that they already know, like, and trust. So they're going to watch the video, which increases watch time.
Yeah.
And then after that, I'm able to show my authority by giving my 2 cents on it. I think reaction videos are much better than the people who almost do like news, where they talk about, hey, this person did this thing or this topic. This is what's going on in this industry. I think a lot of the times, unless you do it right, you almost lower your authority by doing it that way. And I think you can increase your authority by doing more reaction videos, especially if it's more along the lines of myth busting and you're reacting to people who are already mass followed, who are saying things that you disagree with.
Interesting. I want to talk to someone, and you probably have insight on this, is like, what's a tactical thing, like what's like some sauce of how I can increase the likelihood that someone's going to follow me?
A very cheesy, very overlooked, very underutilized way to get more people to follow you is by actually telling them to follow you. I run into a lot of people who, just because they think they make good content, they think people should automatically follow them because they make good content. And then we take the same content, trial reels it, and we say, and we add on a call to action at the end to follow for more for X, Y, and Z. Statistically, way more followers from that video just by telling people to actually follow you. I forget that follow button actually exists sometimes. But the video itself actually has to be good, and you have to come across not cheesy. As in, you have to come across as somebody who genuinely wants to give value.
I understand that. I had a video that did really well. I got almost 3 million views, and it had a CTA to follow.
Nobody followed you?
And I got like about the same amount of followers as my usual videos.
Wow.
And it wasn't that, it was like all the comments were positive, unanimously positive. There was not a single hate comment. And so it was only positive brand recognition, only positive brand association, and still didn't convert any amount of followers for me.
You know what I think also? I think if that's the game you're playing, it's going to be an uphill battle because followers are mattering less and less.
Not when you're trying to sell stuff. Not when you're trying to sell stuff. It matters less and less when it comes to like, how do I actually reach people and how do I actually have influence? But like, there's a reason why people still buy followers. There's a lot of people that still do it.
You know what I've been seeing though? And I would genuinely love to hear what you have to say about this. People are buying from people with less followers nowadays because most of the time, the people in whatever industry with the most amount of followers aren't the best.
Sure. Well, let's just say, for example, I think it's niche specific. Mm-hmm. It depends on what you're selling.
Yeah, 100%.
So like, for example, I wouldn't be buying from a social media marketer that doesn't have hundreds of thousands of followers.
True. Very true.
Unless you've proven that you've worked with somebody. Like, for example, like I bought from this guy, Caleb, and he has a school community about podcasting, and he had less followers than me, mm-hmm. but he's like, this is what I did to blow up Logan Paul's podcast.
Okay. So it's valid. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to find out what you did on that front. I trust you. I can guess you probably haven't put effort into your brand because you're focusing on building someone else's brand.
Makes sense.
But like, if I'm comparing, I'm like, I'd probably go with someone like you over someone else just because you have more followers. That's more proof. Or I look at how many views you're getting.
Yeah.
And if you talk about getting views, and I'm like, well, I get more views than you, then I wouldn't trust you.
One, I don't know it with the camera. I don't know everything. So followers for me, I find the follow game tricky for me because I don't focus on it at all.
Can I give some sauce on this? The only sauce I have.
You're really good at that type of stuff.
No, this is the only sauce I have. And to be honest, I'm trying to solve it. So if you want to get more followers, the only one hack to try is create a second account and go on a video that's performing well. So like you have some indication that this video has the potential to reach a lot of people. Create a second account and write a comment on that video from the second account. And have the comment say, why do I get an error message when I try to follow you? And then go to your main account and say, it's because I'm blank too hard. Have that be your reply, pin both. I guarantee you're going to get more.
That's good.
Guarantee.
That's good.
So
I've
it's
never
like,
thought about that
because then
before.
psychologically, because everyone goes to comments. So psychologically, everyone's going to go to comments. They're going to see that that's the pinned one. Because you usually check out the pinned one. And then the odds are you're going to go to that person's profile. You're going to say, oh, do they have a lot of followers? And then you're going to at least try it. And even if you follow it and then unfollow, it doesn't matter. You're still going to try the follow because you're going to say, do I get that error message? That is like the only hack I found is not doing a CTA in the video, but doing a CTA in the comments.
That's really good, by the way. I don't think I've ever thought about it that way. I think something that people also overlook, and this isn't a hack, and this is barely tangible, but I think people no longer follow off of the first 3 times that they see you. I think you just have to keep showing up too, which sounds super cheesy, super cliche, super basic, but I get people, I actually just spoke to a guy at the airport. He was like, by the way, I watched your stuff for a year straight without following you.
That's crazy.
And
That's
I'm like,
crazy. It does make sense. I either follow from the very first video or like a billion years later.
Like it's no in between. There's no in between.
Yeah.
Either you were extremely good and you made a really good first impression, or it's going to take me ages.
It's interesting. Like when we talk about this business space, those are the tiny details. Like that was a big tangent, but those are the tiny details that like no one thinks about, but they subconsciously matter a ton, and it's something to actually care about.
That's pretty much what all of content creating and social media is. It's just a bunch of small things that I call it small hinges open up big doors.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you don't need big hinges. You just need these 10 small things to do over and over and over and over again, and you will reach where you desire to reach.
Yeah.
Whether it's in 3 months or 3 years, you will get there. Just keep doing these 10 small things. Stop trying to hit a home run every time because you're going to burn out quickly.
Yeah.
Do this, do this, do this, do this. You will be happy, and you will get to where you desire to get to.
Thank you for doing this. Appreciate it.